Salut à tous les popis, c'est Popitox et j'espère que vous avez tous la forme. Aujourd'hui on se retrouve pour le deuxième épisode de Outer World. Du coup, comme un jeu comme Fallout, et on va se régaler parce que les jeux comme Fallout j'adore, donc c'est un peu le même style. Donc il faut aller là-bas maintenant, donc on va aller en haut, voilà. On va aller en haut. Elle est où ma jauge de... de... comment dire? Alors ça c'est les armes, ok. Gestion d'armure. Ah mais ils me disent pas... ils me disent pas l'armure que... qui est bien ou qui est pas bien. Ah, on verra bien plus tard. Ça, c'est ce qu'il y a à manger, tout ça. Ok. On verra avec le temps, on apprendra un petit peu à voir l'inventaire, tout ça. Ah, voilà. Alors, toi, t'as quoi sur toi? Prendre. Prendre. Ok. Ok. Y'a quoi là? Aïe. Voilà. Et bon. Ah, fusil d'assaut. Ça, je ramasse. Fusil de chasse. Je ramasse tout pour l'instant, après je ferai le tri. Alors, réparation d'objets. Ok. Ça c'est fusil de chasse. Ok. Ok. Le flingue. Pas de souci. Bon. On va prendre ceci. Qu'est-ce que c'est ça? C'est quoi ces monstres? Voilà. C'est votre primate. Nous on en va là-bas. C'est un jeu qui est très coloré. La chaîne dans un cimetière. C'est quoi ça?
Whoa, hey, where'd you come from?
Ah, c'est une ville? C'est une ville, hein. Parlez.
Don't go ambling out in those hills. That's marauder territory, friend. Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls and low prices.
Laissez-moi me présenter au fait, je m'appelle Popitox. On vous paye pour tailler le bout de gros avec des enlevés. Mensonge. Je présente, je m'appelle Accenton, capitaine de l'imposteur. C'est pour ça que vous avez des gardiens qui sont présentés.
Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. You don't want none of that on you. Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family.
Si j'ai besoin d'un régulateur électrique, je me dois m'adresser à qui? Je cherche à me faire un peu d'argent pendant mon séjour ici. Cet endroit a l'air de tomber en ruine. Un animateur adjoint? C'est une façon pompeuse de dire fossoyeur, non? Je m'en vais. J'ai besoin d'un régulateur.
Definitely not the junior in humor, that's for sure. If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Head into town, follow the road. Look, you obviously ain't a worker. What's your racket? You a smuggler? Freelancer?
Bah c'est trop garde. Tout dépend de ce que vous allez me proposer. Je fais ce que je veux. Vous vous adressez à mauvaise personne, ça m'intéresse pas. Tout dépend de ce que vous m'avez
Edgewater is
proposé.
a company town, board owned and operated. That includes the cemetery. None of us own our grave sites. We rent them from the company. Renting means money. Money means paperwork. Paperwork means signatures. Some of our families become a mite delinquent in paying their dues, you see.
Vous voulez que je prélève ce qui vous est dû? Je peux m'en occuper. Vous faites payer les gens pour leur propre tombe. Pourquoi ne pas prélever ces redevances vous-même?
Quotas, mostly. Got a backlog of graves to fill. Bodies won't bury themselves, you know.
Ok. Je vois. Très bien, je prélèverai les redevances pour vous.
4 workers still haven't paid up. Phyllis, Conrad, Ludwig, and Martin Abernathy. He's a special case. You may want to twist his arm a little.
Pourquoi Abernathy est-il un cas à part?
He just is. Look, I don't want to get into it. Just make sure he pays up.
Où puis-je trouver toutes ces personnes?
Conrad's got a barbershop in town. Phyllis works at the cannery most hours. Abernathy... I ain't seen him in a few days. His domicile is near the cannery. You'll find him in town. All except Ludwig, that is. He's over by the landing pad.
Je voulais vous demander autre chose.
Yeah?
La vie doit vraiment morfler pour ce que pour que vous ayez autant de
You
travail.
could look at it that way, I suppose. You could look at us and say, those Edgewater saps lost near every soul to plague. But you'd be wrong. We're survivors. Loyal company folk, brave in the wilds.
Vous n'avez pas peur de tomber malade?
Every now and again, a virulent plague sweeps through our town. That's life on the frontier, I suppose. A body grows accustomed.
Combien de temps vous êtes animateur adjoint? Enfin, fouetteur, bref.
Hang on, I'm doing some math in my head. 20, 30, carry the one. All my life?
Ouais, toute ta vie, quoi.
Work's been real good to me. Fresh air, exercise. Only problem is the paperwork. Can't get anybody to pay their gravesite fees.
Vous avez perdu beaucoup de personnes à cause des maraudeurs?
Former people, yeah. Marauders been raiding my graves, you see. Hence the armed guards.
Que cherchent-ils? Des objets de valeur?
Oh no. They are after the most precious loot of all. Spacer's Choice Company property. If those marauders swipe any more bodies out of my cemetery, company's gonna duck my pay. But works. You run into any trouble? Grave?
J'ai une question pour vous.
Yeah.
Avez-vous des nouvelles de l'espoir?
The colony ship? Are you talking about that old rumor? Some great big starship packed full of colonists what got lost in the aether never to be found again? Ain't heard that one since I was but a stripling. Can't say it was terribly convincing far as rumors go. There a reason you asking?
Bah parce que je ne comprends pas, vous êtes en train de me dire que tout le monde nous a oubliés, l'espoir n'est pas une rumeur, il est bien réel, je suis la preuve vivante.
Hope's just a rumor, friend. Ancient rumor at that. Maybe you've been out in the sun too long. Why don't you head over to the cantina? Get yourself some zero-G brew. It's a brew that's good for what ails you. No, this is sounding like sedition. I'm not too keen on getting clapped in irons because you wouldn't stop running your mouth. Look, I don't know what's got you caterwauling about hope this and colony that, but you need to stop, or there's gonna be trouble.
Ok. Pourquoi nous avons des ennuis? Je vous ai juste posé une question.
Trouble's in the asking. Or don't much care for folk running their mouths, spreading hoaxes and the like. Frankly, neither do I. Something I can...
Bon.
Huh? What? I could really go for some salt tuna.
I could really go for some salt.
Allez. Les ennemis trop près pour leur tirer dessus, une attaque au corps à corps rapide pour les repousser et pouvoir les canarder à loisir. Ok. Ok. Alors, fais voir un petit peu. Local. Ok, c'est petit. La région, c'est ça. Campement des maraudeurs. Ok. Mission. Quête principale. Ok.
If you're falling sick, I don't want you near me.
Don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you.
We don't get a lot of visitors.
Vous avez découvert la cantine Space and Choice. Ça là?
I don't know you. Amelia Kim, Spacer's Choice Beverage Dispenser. I don't know what you're about, but this here's a Spacer's Choice drinking establishment. We're all loyal, hard-working company folk here.
Charmant.
You really think so? That's kind of you. I've been trying to keep the floors clean. You got no idea how long it takes to scrub the tiles. Guess I misreckoned you. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to be curt. We just got some problems lately. I can get you a drink if you'd like. Gotta ask you to enjoy your beverage within the premises, though. Can't risk you bringing a drink over to those deserters. You understand. Traitors. The lot of them. Bunch of folks decided they were tired of working and went out into the wilds to fend for their own selves. Town's already struggling to make quotas, even without that band of slackwits abandoning their posts. Bunch of lazy, shiftless rung leeches. Anyway, enough about them. What can I do for you?
J'aimerais parler. Voilà.
Do you now? And what makes you think Mr. Thompson wants to talk to you? He's a busy man. If you want to talk to Mr. Thompson, try ignoring your duties. He'll summon you up to that great big tower atop the cannery, and you'll get yourself a proper dressing down. It is a good thing. If you're not pulling your weight, you don't deserve to live here. Simple as that. Go ahead.
Parlez-moi un peu de vous.
I don't see how that's any of your business.
Je ne juge pas, c'est la simple curiosité.
You're the first to ask after me in some time. I'll give you that. But I don't have a story to share. My family's worked Spacer's Choice for 2 generations, and I've lived in Edgewater just about all my life. Wanted to work in the sciences once upon a time. Would you believe it? That was a wild fancy. Glad I disabused myself.
Ok. Vous voulez devenir scientifique? Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé?
What happened, you ask? What always happens when you're dreaming. I woke up. I just didn't have the brains for it. Asked too many questions. Wasn't suited to the work. So I did the right thing and worked the life I was always meant to live. Now that I'm behind a bar, I can ask all the questions I want. Important ones. Like, when are you gonna pay your tab? And would you like another round of cold, refreshing 0G?
Poser des questions, j'ai l'impression que la science est la meilleure scientifique pose trop de questions.
Don't talk to me that way, please. Spent many years disabusing myself of that notion. Don't need you putting it back in my head. Lab work ain't for me. Never was. Never will be. Spacer's Choice put me where I belong, and for that I am grateful. They did. They gave me a life. Gave me a purpose. This is where I belong.
Passez votre vie à faire la vaisselle.
What's wrong with that? It's good honest work. Pots and pans don't scrub themselves. Glasses don't fill themselves either. Unless you're in Byzantium. I hear everything's automated there. Not that I'll ever find out.
Merci pour
Not so
l'anecdote.
fast. I told you about my life. Your turn to tell me about yours. So, what's your story?
Vous me croirez pas si je vous le disais.
That right? Prove it.
À cause d'un savant fou, j'ai échoué. Mensonge, je suis un esprit à 13 composé d'éther pur et je vous propose sur des corps humains pour en prendre un peu plus sur votre espèce. On va dire. Ça.
Ah, I know that serial drama. They were playing it just the other night. What was it called? The Last Spacer? You're right. I don't believe you. I'd advise you to keep that story unsaid. Don't want people thinking you're a loon.
Euh.
Ugh, is this the start of a joke? If you want me to laugh at your jokes, it's a 3-drink minimum.
J'aurais préféré que ce soit une blague, honnêtement, je sais même pas où je suis.
Look, I don't know what you're blathering about. If you took a blow to your skull, you really should settle down with some zero-G. Anyhow, whatever happens outside the walls is not my business. Only deserters and marauders wander out there, and I cannot tell you which I revile more. My world is these 4 walls, that door, and a row of mugs that need cleaning.
On dirait pas que vous avez peur de l'extérieur.
Let me make something clear. Spacer's Choice has been real good to me. The town's been real good to me. I start gallivanting around outside the walls, poking around in places I shouldn't be, learning things I've got no right to know. People will talk. Won't ever catch me asking about the world outside. Else the town's gonna say Amelia's gone soft. That Amelia's pondering desertion. I don't want that.
Attendez, hein. Je trouve ça dommage que vous viviez votre vie selon les autres. J'imagine que tous, quand vous êtes dans le boulot, n'avez pas envie de quitter la vie avec la peste qui traîne.
There you go with that thinking again. Didn't anyone ever tell you it's dangerous? I've said enough. People come here to drink their problems away. If they wanted to face their problems, they'd go see our vicar.
Mais je suis en train de faire un truc. Bon, j'ai discuté avec cette personne. Là, je peux pas aller. Enfin, si je peux. Alors, attendez. Ok, clé de contournement. Ok, salle de bain. Des chiottes. Ok. La terrasse.
friend of mine died a couple weeks back. Still ain't past it.
Nothing I can do about that.
Alors. Agent Reyes.
Welcome to the Spacer's Choice Constabulary. We are Halcyon's leading brand in frontier justice. The office is writing up promotion. Purchase 3 criminal investigations and the 4th one's free.
J'ai quelques questions, charge de travail.
As long as your questions fall within the acceptable margins of curiosity.
Est-ce que j'ai quelque chose?
His likeness decorates many a wanted poster. Do you have any relevant information about this individual? I am obliged to warn you against forming acquaintanceships, friendships, partnerships, or any felicitous relationship with a wanted criminal. I am also obliged to inform you of our referral program. For every criminal you refer to the authorities, the board will reward you.
Ouais, si tu m'as sauvé la vie, j'aimerais savoir pourquoi le conseil veut sa mort.
I am obliged to remind you that questioning the veracity of the board's orders is a punishable offense. Consider this your last warning. Wells has been wanted for as long as the board decides he has been wanted. This decision will be made in accordance with Wells's behavior upon arrest. Unfortunately, the arrest of Mr. Wells falls outside my authority. I enforce the company policy of Spacer's Choice in the region of Emerald Vale. Wells is wanted by the board. If you have information related to the location of Phineas V. Wells, you are required to submit that information to your nearest board authority. Something to report? As long as you're... If this is a setup to a joke, you should know I've never found anything amusing in my life. I don't serve Edgewater. Edgewater and the entire region of Emerald Vale serve Spacer's Choice.
Attendez.
Spacer's Choice is a wholly owned subsidiary of Universal Defense Logistics, which occupies a seat on the Halcyon Holdings Corporation, also known as the Board. I must admit it bothers me that you don't already know this.
En gros, vous êtes une bureaucrate.
Flattery won't get you anywhere with me. The bureaucracy is a noble profession, but not all of us are gifted enough to serve in it. Interesting jumpsuit you've got. Know how to carry yourself in a fight? I've got bounties out for these 3 marauders. Cross them off and bring me their fingers. Just 1 per marauder, please. I'll dust off the old fingerprint roller.
Ok. Moi j'ai des missions. Là je peux pas voler ça. Non.
Wish we had some better rations.
Please don't touch anything. Your hands are probably crawling with germs. Physical hygiene recapitulates moral hygiene. Cleanliness is next to lawfulness.
Détendez-vous, je suis parfaitement propre. Intimidation, je peux vous montrer mes mains?
No, thank you. That's quite all right. I've seen enough body parts in my line of work. I'm Conrad. You will report to me if your hair fails to meet Spacer's Choice aesthetic standards. You will also report to me in the event of your death, whereupon I will clean and prepare your remains for interment.
Je cherche à réparer mon vaisseau, c'est ça? Ok.
Burial,
Votre
in the
enterrement.
unfortunate event of a fatality. It's what a barber does. We make you presentable. Go ahead.
Ouais, j'ai quelques questions. Vous avez l'air sacrément... Vous avez l'air sacrément de tenir à cet endroit.
Edgewater has been good to me. I consider myself privileged to work here. I am never wanting for work, not since the plague started.
Qu'est-ce que ça vaut sur cette peste?
The plague's come at us with a vengeance this year. Lost 6 workers in as many months. I wouldn't call them good workers, mind you. If they were any good, they'd have been treated. Still, it is a shame.
Qu'est-ce...
Fever, chills, fatigue, aching, vomiting, an excess of phlegm, a tendency towards belly aching.
Ok.
Company policy, friend. We don't have enough medicine to treat all of us, so we treat the best among us.
Qui a eu cette idée?
Mr. Thompson's brainchild. Have you met him yet? Thoughtful-looking fellow, stares out of his office most hours. Ah, gravesite fees. Silas and I had talked about this at length. I thought I'd made it clear my pecuniary situation precludes the necessary restitutions. As broke as pie crust, friend. Bidless, indigent, destitute. I simply cannot afford it. I am a blemish on the prosperity of our fair settlement. When I expire, I expect Silas to toss my body into a ditch. With what? My own blood? Tell Silas I can't afford to pay. And that I fully expect to have my medical rights revoked for this dereliction. With my apologies.
Attendez. Hein. Attendez, vos droits médicaux.
Not a bad idea. But I'd need some kind of collateral. My pair of lucky clippers. No, that won't do. Your idea intrigues me, but I'm afraid I don't have anything to give Silas. I'm open to suggestions.
Je vous dirai pas. Je vous dirai si des idées me viennent.
Much. What can I do?
Ok, médecine. Vous avez étudié dans le domaine. On dirait j'ai quelques connaissances en médecine.
Oh? Am I in the company of a fellow doctor? I am a Spacer's Choice certified surgeon. And if you must know, I can stitch a severed thumb with a 58% chance of avoiding gangrene. What can I...
je cherche à réparer mon vaisseau.
A ship? Dear me. You seem to have lost the ability to distinguish between reality and fantasy. This is what happens when you let your imagination run wild. I don't approve of fantasizing. It's a dreadful habit, corrosive to the mental faculties. You ought to let the vicar take a look inside your head. Vicar Maximilian, our man from the OSI, here to spread the message of scientism like a soothing balm upon a feverish head. Or so you'd expect. You'll find him in our local church, probably neglecting his duties. He doesn't seem to like us much. The vicar has not been with us long, and in his relatively short tenure in Edgewater, gives off the distinct whiff of superiority. Go ahead.
C'est bon. Hein.
Yes, Mr. Thompson. I'm fine, Mr. Thompson. Never been healthier. Whoa, did Mr. Thompson send you? Well, you tell Mr. Thompson I'll be right at my post. Tomorrow. Bright and early tomorrow. Because I'm definitely not plagued. As spry as a spring chicken. That's old Abernathy.
On se calme, c'est pas cet argument, on voit.
You some sort of wandering alienist? Walking into a man's own domicile, pestering him about his mental state?
Alors c'est toi, Martin Abernathy.
What? No. I mean, I might be. That depends on who's asking.
Je ne cherche pas d'ennui, je suis là pour ta redevance, la concession funéraire, c'est tout.
Silas knows, doesn't he? That's why he sent you. That's why he wants me to pay up. He knows.
Bon sang, j'ai ma tout raconté, combien de temps penses-tu au gars de secret?
It's like he's already told you. You may as well hear it from me. I'm dying. I'm not long for this world. The date of my expiration is fast approaching. And soon I shall be ushered through the great cannery in the skies. It's plague. Has to be. Silas knows. He knows I got one foot in my grave, and now he wants to charge me for the other one.
Ça m'a triste.
You are? Oh, wow. First time anyone's ever told me that. I'll pay your fees. I don't want any trouble from Silas. But if you could see a way to freelancing for me, I could really use the help.
Ok. Qu'est-ce que je peux faire pour toi?
There's a cache of anthracillin tucked away in the old community center. Powerful stuff. Stronger than what we got, anyway. I need you to break in, nab that medicine, and bring it back to me. You oblige me with your haste. I think I feel the plague spreading. Oh, Law, it's in my spleen now. I can feel it.
Il y a quelque chose que je dois savoir dans ce centre communautaire, hein?
Just keep your head down when you're in there. Marauders have taken over. Probably tracking mud all over the archives.
Tu prends énormément de risques en me faisant confiance, tu le sais.
I know that, but I got nobody else to turn to. Reed would have wrote me up. Constable would have locked me up and wrote me up. Could have gone to see the good vicar, but I never did find my courage. Somebody's been running around.
Bon.
You're making a mistake working for Abernathy.
Hey, you hear about Wilson?
Je suis où là?
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just try using small words for me.
Qui c'est?
The can's bust open in the oven because she's set to cook saltuna, which isn't what we've got. Mr. Thompson? I think there's someone here to see you.
Focus, Miss Holcomb. You and I are still talking. Let's start over. Walk me through the process. Show me where it's going awry.
Well, sure. It's, mostly on account of what we're feeding.
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself.
Red Thompson. Vous devez être le chef de la ville.
I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform. Yes, so it dawns on me. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
Qu'entendez-vous pour la grande partie désaffectée?
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
Dis-moi ce que je dois faire.
The people living in the botanical labs. They're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
Très bien, Red.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented, and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Ok. Vous avez obtenu un compagnon. Ce personnage vous accompagne dans nos aventures. Convergez vous êtes pendant les combats. Leurs compétences augmentent les vôtres. Ils augmentent la capacité de transport. Vous avez la capacité de combat spéciale.
Some hullhead. Got my sights on you.
If you could see your way to getting... Go ahead.
Avez-vous jeté un œil à votre ville récemment, monsieur?
It is my job to keep two eyes on my town. I am the steward of this place, and this is my watch post.
Combien de temps vous travaillez ici?
I'm trying to remember 25 years, 26. When you get to my age, the years just rush by. You stop counting altogether. I remember looking out this window and seeing the veils spread out from horizon to horizon. We were a sprawling town. We were booming. Times change, people change, but the veil will always be here. Spacer's choice will always be here. Our work won't ever end. I take comfort in that.
Ok.
I wish you wouldn't say things like that. Yes, as a matter of fact. When I stand at my window and look out over my town, here's what I see. I see decent, loyal, hard-working people. I see a family. We are all part of the Spacer's Choice family. We are all doing what we were brought into this world to do.
Ouais, je sais, c'est la fin de l'épisode. Et autre chose, vous êtes fidèle à Spacer's Choice.
This is a Spacer's Choice town. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family here. The company keeps us warm, keeps us fed, keeps us working. Loyalty's got nothing to do with it, friend. This is good old-fashioned gratitude.
Autre chose que j'aimerais savoir.
Go ahead.
Qu'est-ce qui vous fait croire que je peux convaincre ces déserteurs de revenir?
That you are not one of us may work to your advantage. Adelaide and her folk loathe the people of Edgewater, you see. I admit the fault was mine. I'm about as diplomatic as a bristling canid. I just hope Adelaide and her folk will see their way past my flaws and return to town.
Inutile de vous en vouloir. Parfois les gens pensent à autre chose ainsi bas la vue. Cet endroit est horrible, ça me donne pas envie d'y vivre. Il est logique que les gens cherchent à s'en...
Scripture tells us we all have our purpose in the world. Our work shows us that purpose. We should not have to move on from it. Yes, we have lost good workers to desertion. We have lost even more to plague. But it is why we must square our shoulders and carry on.
Perspicacité, vous vous connaissez bien Adelaide et vous.
Losing Adelaide was the hardest. She was our only flavor specialist. When she walked away, I knew we were in trouble. Spacer's Choice Saltuna is renowned across the system for its quality flavors and additives. We used to sell citrus-flavored Saltuna in our heyday. Ever since Adelaide left, we have been reduced to selling unflavored and spearmint. Go ahead.
Si vous souhaitez que je parle à cette Adelaide, commencez par m'en dire plus sur elle.
Adelaide was our only flavor specialist. We are a Saltuna canning institution. Saltuna without flavor is like a cysty pig without tumors, borderline inedible.
Ça a l'air dégoûtant, vous mangez rien d'autre que des sautons.
Word up to me, friend. I'd stack our larders with Saltuna galore. No other brand of Saltuna adds as much vim or vigor to the body's humors. But, and this is something we must keep between the two of us, Saltuna is hard to come by. What with being a species indigenous to the seas of another world.
Une minute. Alors qu'est-ce que vous mettez en conserve ici au juste? De quel monde s'agit-il?
Oh, we've scavenged together some organic material from the surrounding environs. Mostly organic, mostly local mushrooms. Some of which possess a texture akin to a well-boiled slab of Saltuna. The difference is all but impossible to detect to any but the prissiest of palate. Go ahead.
Nous devons parler de cette peste.
Can we not? Talking about unpleasant things.
Vous détournez les médicaments de vos propres employés. Depuis combien de temps dure cette peste?
That I cannot say. There was no moment when the plagues began. Disease always lurks on the fringes of society, waiting to infect the idle and the lethargic. But in the last 10 years, the plagues have become progressively worse and increasingly frequent.
Médecine. Vous aurez dû développer une immunité après une exposition rejetée à la même source de contagion.
Corporate doesn't like us using the word should. It encourages the imagination. I believe plague is a test. It is a test of our loyalty and our fortitude. And it is one we will see through to the end.
Vous détournez les médicaments de vos propres employés.
If I had enough medicine to treat everyone who fell sick, I would, but I don't. I can't save everyone. So I have to choose.
Ça doit pas être très facile pour vous.
It is not easy for me. And the moment it becomes easy is the moment I am no longer fit to serve. Spacer's Choice is a family, and the survival of the family is more important than the survival of the individual.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
Allez, viens.
Hey, mister, can we talk? Sorry.
Terminal. Rapport. C'est un peu comme Fallout, ouais, pareil. Elle est où? Bah, elle est où? Ah.
Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale.
Vous parlez des déserteurs, comment ça plus loin?
To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left.
C'est normal que les gens aient envie de partir, cette ville a de gros problèmes.
Life's hard here. Especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
Ça ne peut pas faire de mal, on ira le voir.
Thanks, mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways. Yeah, huh?
J'ai remarqué que vous parlez beaucoup de votre père, mais jamais de votre mère.
That's on account of how I never met her.
Comment c'est possible?
She was in another division of the Spacer's Choice family. She worked in the Vale a few months, sorting the cannery computers. Her contract said any kids she had, expected or not, belonged to her office from the time of conception. So when I was born, I got sent here. Well, I don't know about normal. Dad said she worked under some kind of special contract. It's sensible. Dad just fixed machines. She did some kind of crazy math, high-level stuff. Better to raise me on his time than hers.
On se parlera plus tard.
Some...
Ok. Alors, journal. Nos défunts. Ah. Vous avez découvert le distributeur. On va parler au monsieur, après c'est bon.
You the new worker? Whatever. Make it quick, Tenderfoot. I'm busy.
Et je pense que vous êtes la chef d'équipe, je viens prélever la redevance.
Foreman Granger. Mind those words don't come out of your mouth unless preceded by yes or right away or thank you.
Je prélever la redevance funéraire.
Silas still on about that. Here, take the fees. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell Reed I was late on my payment.
Ces documents ne sont pas à votre nom.
Because they're not my fees and not my gravesite. Guy I worked with shot himself. I paid the bill.
C'est une délicate attention, enfin je crois, vous devez payer la redevance concession de votre voisin. Ouais.
I could do without the sarcasm. Wasn't acting out of the goodness of my heart. Law requires delinquent gravesite fees to be paid by the deceased party's closest living relative, which meant me. Shame though. Eugene was a good worker.
Il s'est tiré une balle, vous dites?
Woke up one morning and put a round through his upper story. Can't imagine why. The kid was doing all right at his desk. We all thought he was an upstanding receptionist. Just between the two of us, I'm pretty shocked his weapon didn't misfire. Spacer's Choice handguns aren't the most reliable.
C'est horrible ce que vous dites.
Not half as awful as the bill Eugene left us with. Suicide's a crime. The legal term is irreparable damage to company property. What Eugene did to himself was vandalism.
Vous plaisantez, j'espère.
I'm plenty serious. In fact, I'm a little upset Eugene didn't think things through. In other words, Edgewater would have been penalized pretty hard. Whatever Eugene was worth as an asset, we would have had to pay out of pocket to Spacer's Choice.
C'était une personne, pas une valeur.
Well, excuse you. I'll have you know, Eugene was an asset to us all. May his atoms be commended to the law. All I know is Silas asked me for Eugene's gravesite fees, which means he was approved for burial, which means his papers went through, which means the town's in the clear. I'm just glad to put this whole ugly affair behind me. Eugene can rest his bones in peace, and the rest of us can get on with our own lives.
Je vous laisse reprendre votre travail. Connasse.
Somebody...
J'aimerais vous parler de Gênes.
I paid his burial fees, didn't I?
En fait, oubliez ce que je viens de dire. Du coup, ben les amis, on va se laisser ici pour cet épisode. J'espère en tout cas que ça vous aura plu. N'hésitez pas à partager, à liker, à vous abonner. Et bien sûr, faites ce que vous voulez. Je vous fais très gros bisous. Et je vous dis à la prochaine pour un nouvel épisode sur ce Outer World. Bisous les amis.